Happy Sunday. Well, you'll see the garden behind me looks a little bit different than it did the last time. And we are just about planted, folks. So I wanted to do an update to just show you guys kind of what I did, why I did it, and kind of what I plan for over the next couple of weeks, but in order to kind of monitor it. So I'm going to flip this camera around. Got a stake or two here that's not as straight as I'd like, but I'm going to flip this camera around. So you see a heck of a lot of stakes. So I got tomatoes, peppers. These two rows, you don't see anything growing, other than you do see my nice thatch layer, which has turned out pretty good. I'll get a little bit closer. So of course I'm using that to feed microbes, retain moisture, etc. I do have clover growing in there. These two rows, in between my other row of tomatoes, and then I do have some here of zucchini and eggplant and cilantro and stuff like that. These two rows are actually sunflowers, so I planted each seed individually in both these rows. And the reason I staked them is I have these rows set far enough apart that I can get my push mower in between these rows. And the reason I want to do that is because eventually this thatch, or clover, hopefully it's clover, will grow up in between. It's going to get a little bit taller and just make it difficult to work. And I don't want to have to till to control weeds, so I will either weed whip or just take that push mower, which should work out really, really well. I already did a little test run with it, and it did work. I mulched up a little bit of the leaf litter that's alongside the fence. So these two rows here, I planted sunflowers individually. Actually, what I did, I took a screwdriver, I poked a hole, dropped the seed in, covered the hole, went on to the next one. I did that for both those rows. It took a little bit of time, but it wasn't that bad. And the reason I wanted to do that is I had peppers and tomatoes here. So I wanted to put a different crop in this particular area of the garden just for a rotation perspective. But I also wanted to have that really vast fibrous root system from the sunflowers connecting these two sides of the garden. If I only put it on one side of the garden, it would be growing out maybe into the yard and things like that. Well, no, I don't want that. I want them to be connecting. So all of these root systems and the clover that's growing in between the rows and all the peppers and the tomatoes and everything is connected, right? And we're working on that symbiotic relationship with the mycorrhizal fungi and all of the microbes that are in the soil. And how do we do that? Well, through diversity, through cover, through the least amount of disturbance as possible, etc. So just kind of a quick update, guys. As far as next steps go, water. Pray for rain. I do have a compost bin. You might have seen in some videos in the background. I will be adding compost to select areas. I'll be adding grass clippings into areas where there is some bare dirt. Because again, cover crop worked really, really well. Didn't get as good a growth as I wish I would have. Wish I would have got a little bit more growth, but it worked overall. It was really a nice cover crop this year. But I do have some bare dirt spots, and that's because I haven't been doing the no-till here as long as I wish I would have been. So got to keep working on building soil, so I'm going to keep that soil covered to reduce erosion and all of the good things that we always talk about. So that's the update. Again, there is plant 2021 is complete for now. I do have another batch of tomatoes in the house that they're just growing a little bit slower. So I'm going to keep an eye on those ones, and I got a spot saved for another 25 or so of those I'll put in the ground in a few more weeks. So for the most part, we're all planted. Again, guys, I really appreciate everybody following along. If you enjoy this stuff, you enjoy learning about soil health, you enjoy learning about how to build better soil, please follow along, subscribe, share, Build Better Soil on Instagram, Build Better Soil Facebook group as well. Really appreciate you guys. I'm really active on the Regenerative Agriculture Facebook group as well. I've been sharing a lot of stuff there. So again, I really appreciate it, guys. Keep following along. Stay safe. Build better soil. Tune in again soon.